Hello viewers, you're welcome to Kharis Tutorials. I'm Simeon Grace. Today I'll be taking us on this A-line dress with office dress collar, and we're going to be needing a fabric and also the stay for our collar and the press button, the thread, and that's all. So in this tutorial we'll be needing the length measurements, the shoulder measurements, the sleeve length, and also the round sleeve measurement, and we'll be needing the bust measurement. That's all. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Africa TV, and you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Africa TV. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at Kharis Kreations, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comment box below. So quickly, let's move to the cutting table. Welcome back. Now the first thing we're going to do is to fold our fabric, and since it's a dress, we're going to fold with the highest measurement, which is the hip. The hip here is 34, and 34 plus 4 divided by 4. This time around is plus 4 divided by 4. We're going to use the hip measurement so as to determine our folding. So 34 plus 4 divided by 4, we have 9.5. 9.5, and it means since we want the base of our is going to be A-line, so the folding now, what we're going to fold is going to be more than 9.5. The hip measurement is 9.5, so our folding now, the folding is determined by you. It's a matter of your choice. For me, the base of my gown, I want it to be as wide as 30 inches. That's just the front alone. The front 30 inches, and this is 30 inches. This is how wide I want the front to be. So I'll have 30 front and also 30 back. So it means my front folding now, which is going to be 15 inches. 15 inches. So automatically the 15 inches is more than the hip measurement, which is 9.5. So I'll be folding 15 inches. So the front 15, and also for the back I'll be folding 15 inches. So let's cut out the front first, then we'll place it to cut out the back. Now I've gotten my 15 inches, and the length is 36. So I'm going to add just 3 inches to the length for folding. That means 39. So I'm going to measure out 39 inches. So now we move to the shoulder measurements. The shoulder 14, and 14 divided by 2, we have 7 inches. And with my sewing allowance, I have 7.5. I'm going to measure down 8.5, and I'm going to get the bust from there. The bust is 32, and 32 plus 4 will give us 36. So this is my 8.5, and I'm going to get the bust from here. The bust is 32, and 32 plus 4 is 36. So 36 divided by 4, we have 9 inches. That's 32 plus 4 divided by 4. I have 9 inches. Now this is my 8.5, and then I'm going to measure out the bust, and the bust is 32 plus 4 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Now it's an A-line gown, so it means from my bust measurement, I'm going to bring out this A shape. Since our A is like this, so from this bust, I'm going to take it straight down. Now, here again is a matter of choice. You can still bring out the band measurements, the waist measurements, and also the hip measurements. I'm just going to give you this form. It's going to come out in this shape. After which, from the hip, you're slanting it straight down. But whichever way you feel like having your A-line dress, either from the bust straight down or still bringing out the shape, that's the bust band, the waist, and the hip. Then from the hip, you're slanting it down. It's still okay. So whichever way you want to go for, the two are okay. Now from the shoulder, I'm going to bring out the armhole. This is my armhole, and I'm going to cut out, before cutting out the neck design. So let's cut this out first. Now from here, I'm going to bring out the neck design. Remember, it's going to have an office collar. So, I'm going to measure down 3 inches for the deepness and 2.5 for the wideness. Deepness 3 inches and wideness 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to slanting the shoulder by 1 inch. Now we can cut. So this is the front. I'm going to place this to cut out the back. I've placed the front on the back, and now I'm going to cut. That's the same thing, and now I'm going to measure the neck wideness and also the thickness. Of course, the wideness still 2.5, the same as the front, but the deepness 0.5 inch. 0.5. Yeah. Now it's going to have side pockets. So I'm going to measure from the shoulder. I'm going to take 15 inches from the shoulder. That's 15 inches. I'll notch. And the pocket mouth 7 inches, but for this measurement I'll use 6 inches. And also notch. So let's move to the next stage, which is cutting out the sleeve and cutting the pockets, and then we'll cut out the collar. The sleeve length is 10 inches. And the round sleeve is 10 inches also. So folding our fabric is going to be 10 divided by 2. That's the round sleeve measurement divided by 2 plus 3 inches. And 10 divided by 2, 5 plus 3, 8. I'm going to fold 8 inches and the length is 10 plus 1 inch, that's 11 inches. So bringing out the round sleeve measurements now, we have the normal round sleeve to be 10, that's divided by 2 will give us 5, plus my sewing allowance of 1 inch, I have 6 inches. Then I'm going to measure down 3.5 inches from the top, which is going to give me the shape. This is going to, we are going to fix this in to the armhole. And now from my 3.5, I'm going to flatten it down to my round sleeve measurements. So I'm going to use this to cut out the other sleeve. Now we have the two sleeves ready, we move to cutting out the pockets. The measurement of the pocket is 14 by 14. So I'm going to fold into two to get my 7 inches by 14. Can always reduce the length and also the wideness of the pockets. That's for the pockets. The last thing to do now is cutting out the office collar. The wideness of the neck is 17 inches and the length of the collar is 2 inches. But I'm going to measure out 17 and I'll add my sewing allowance, making 18 inches by 3 inches. I'll cut that out first. 18 by 3. The 3 is folded into 2. have 18 inches by 3 and folded into 2. I'm going to measure 1 inch on the 2 sides. I'm going to measure 1 inch. In the middle, I'm going to measure 1 inch. So on the sides, I have my 1 inch at the base of my straight cut, and at the middle, I have it at the top. This is my 1 inch. On this side, this is my 1 inch. So, cutting it out, I'm going to slant from the top of the sides to meet with this 1 inch measurement, and from the middle, which is the base, is going to meet with the 1 inch I measured out. So I'm going to cut it out now. Now the next one I'm going to cut, the round neck measurement is 17 inches, and I'm going to divide it into 2 so that one will fall on the right and the other on the left hand side. So 17 divided by 2 will give us 8.5 inches. The 8.5 inches, I'm going to add 2 inches to it, and that will give us 10.5 inches. So the length is going to be 3 inches. That's folded into 2, 3 inches by 10.5 inches. That's what I'll cut out. And of course, I'm going to add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. That will give us 11.5. So I'll measure 2 of that, 11.5 by 3 inches. Now remember, the normal measurement is 8.5, that's 17, the round neck measurement divided by 2, 8.5. So the normal neck measurement is 8.5 inches. We added 2 to the length to give us 10.5. So on each side, I'm going to measure 1 inch and of course 1 inch, and I'm slanting to the folding. I'm going to measure 1 inch and I'm slanting it. So what I'll do is just to fold into 2 and measure the 1 inch, and I'm slanting it to the edge of my folding. Yeah. So we've come to the end of our cutting. I hope you enjoyed the class. Now we move to the sewing till I see you next class. Bye.